All right, we are live. We are live. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Winning Ways again. And I am happy, happy, happy tonight to have a guest on. I love when I have a guest. I have a face. I have someone to look at. I have someone to talk back to me. Well, you all have been excited, I know, because people have been asking me about tonight. So this is the time to even ask questions to our wonderful guest tonight. So don't be shy. Go to the comments. Now, you know, I'm trying to build this community on the YouTube side, even though we're being live on Facebook as well. But the YouTube side, I'm really trying to build that community. So if you guys would be so kind, some of you have been receiving messages from me, DMs from me, to subscribe to the link. So, you know, you follow me, you like my stories and my post and whatever. The same information is just being repurposed in a different way, in a different format, in a different community. So if you would just click that subscribe button, share, like, I would be so grateful. All right, let's get to it. Here is my guest. Let's put her up, her beautiful face. There she is. There she is. Iye Ugbong is with us today. And I met Iye, what's it, 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. You know, as I do with many of my guests, I meet them when I'm out and about, vending or speaking, and we get to networking. You know, we get to talking, and excuse me, I found out a lot of interesting things. People are doing a lot of interesting things. And I like when I meet people whose work and mission or one or the other line up with the things that I write about. So, as many of you know, I'm an author, podcaster, life coach, and this podcast was birthed from actually, I'm gonna get my words right. I'm getting tongue tied here. Birth or stems from my writing, and so the chapters from my books are always an inspiration for the nightly episode. So tonight I'm coming from my second book, with the King, and the chapter in it that I want to dwell on is fresh start, false start. And it's still the beginning of the year. It's not quite January 1st, but we're still in the beginning of the year where people still are thinking about this is the best time I need to start whatever it is I want to start. And one of the things that I've learned with myself and others is it's one thing to have, what is that clicking sound? Is that me? Do you hear that, Iya?
Not on my end.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to figure what that is. Maybe it's on my end. Um, People start and then stop. And so tonight, I want Iya to, and I think that's my mic, so we just move away. And let's see what happens. Still always something, right?
Technology.
Just keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. But Iya is going to tell us about her start. Iya can talk about herself better than I can, but she definitely is an entrepreneur and a very intelligent one at that. She deals in pharmaceuticals, business, and she is an entrepreneur of candles. Iya, welcome to Winning Ways.
Stephanie, thank you for having me. It means so much that you even, like you said earlier, we met from a vendor event and we just hit it off and began to have a wonderful conversation. And I'm glad it led here. Hello, everyone. My name is Iye Ugbong, as Ms. Stephanie said. I'm the proud owner of Candles with Attitude, where we provide candles with culture, personality, and of course, attitude. And a little background about me, I'm a Howard University graduate. I graduated in the spring of 2012 with a bachelor's degree in science. in sports medicine, where I then went on to get my PharmD, my doctorate degree at Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey. And then later on, I got my MBA in 2018. So believe it or not, I started off with a clothing line. Not to toot my own horn, but I like to put it on and I like to be very stylish, especially when I'm out and about. But I just could never find the time until after grad school where I decided to start a clothing line. It wasn't until last year, now, where I started Candles with Attitude. And I told Miss Stephanie what happened and pretty much how I began this candle journey because I never wanted to be a chandler. I never thought I love candles, but I never thought this would be my path. So in last year, January, literally around this time, almost a year ago now, I had a dream that I was standing behind a counter or like a kiosk, and people were standing in line waiting for me to, waiting to buy my sneaker candles. And the dream was just so real that I just woke up and pretty much was just like, I don't know what this means, but I need to find a way to make it. So in the last 6 months of last year, I put my heart into it, having a science background, trying to make sure that whatever product I put out is eco-friendly, clean scents, no carcinogens, just trying to make it as healthy as possible, but with the best quality. And I succeeded, where I'm now 6 months old with CWA, Candles with Attitude. And I am now in 5 stores in the DMV area. So that is my beginnings, and I'm just really trying to continue with the ride and see where I'm going from here.
What stores are you in?
So my first store is in the waterfront in Oxon Hill, which is called Faith to Felicity. Then I'm also in Femme, which is on Connecticut Avenue. I do business with Made in DC during or towards the Wharf area. I'm also in a new store. Well, not for me, it's new. Another store in New Jersey, Moortown, New Jersey, which is like South Jersey, and it's called Curate Noir. And I believe my last store is Blank Slate, yes, which is the Annapolis Mall.
Awesome, awesome. Now, what I would like for you to do, I think you brought some of your products to show. And then
Absolutely.
I want you to, after we look at the products, because people need to see them before we talk about them, they really do.
Sure.
Can
Yeah.
you hold up and tell us what we're looking at?
Absolutely. All right. So, as I was saying about how I had a dream, and what I saw in my dream was my sneaker shoe. So I made it into a whole thing. Of course, being a sneakerhead, first and foremost, I made it into this box where you can see Canvas with Attitude. It has the Air Force One here. Excuse me. It has Caribbean Escape, which is the scent, and the ounces, 8 ounces. So when you open the box, as you guys can see, you'll see the shoe. It smells amazing. And this is like a mini blue Air Force One. So I don't know if you guys can see. And I do a couple different colors, couple different variations of the sneakers. Like also have some Air Jordan 4s that are in pink. And you can burn them. So the goal is to keep them, just like a sneakerhead. But you can burn these sneakers and they can also become wax melts. So here's
Mhm.
another example of up tempos, the bottom, and
Those
then
are so cute.
yeah.
It's almost like I don't want to burn them. I
That's
don't like.
that's the goal. The good thing is like they're endless candles, so you can literally keep one in the wherever you would like on the bookshelf, in your office, in your room, and you'll continue to smell the sneaker throughout your whole room.
Wow,
So this one is like the Adidas shell toes.
those are cute.
Yeah.
Now, what since they're different colors, Do the colors signify that they're different fragrances?
Sometimes, this depends. So what I like to do is, what I'm doing now is I'll take the popular colors of whatever season we're in, and also the scents. So sometimes, if I have time, I can make each shoe an individual scent, or if I'm just trying to make it into a batch, I'll probably make it one or two scents at a time.
Okay. And you also have spray fragrances as
I
well.
do. I don't have any right
Okay.
in front of me, but I do small 2 ounces to 4 ounce room sprays that Stephanie really
My
gave
God.
me so gave me some feedback on, which was absolutely amazing because that was when you met me was the first time I brought them out. So
Okay.
just having your feedback was just so fantastic, and it meant a lot to me because when somebody says, "Oh, this smells good," and it's just like, especially when you know you did it like from scratch, it really does warm your heart and it makes you feel really special. So thank you for your feedback on the scents, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
I was so impressed by the variety.
Thank you.
You had at least 10. I tried
Yes.
I tried counting. You had at least 10 different bottles of fragrances.
Yes.
Audience, I want you to know that her fragrances were dual fragrances. They weren't I didn't see if you had singer solo fragrances, I didn't
No,
see it.
everybody had a partner.
Yeah, and with dual fragrances like sage and lemongrass.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
fragrances that,
Jasmine, yeah.
oh my goodness. Lavender, and what was with the lavender? It was
I had
something
a couple lavender, like I had a lavender spring
eucalyptic.
apricot,
I think it was eucalyptus.
eucalyptus and lavender as well, blackberry frankincense. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm one of those people that I don't like smelling a whole lot of perfumey, fragrancy things. I don't like too much. And
Right.
I certainly don't like it right before I eat and right after I eat.
Mm.
You would think I was pregnant because you see pregnant women had those kind of issues, right?
Right.
But I just never liked that. But I could handle this. I mean, she was spraying off.
Yes, we sampled everything. We had a whole tour.
We were sampling all over, and I did not get nauseous.
Thank you.
So the fragrances, the combos were great. So she does candles and she does these fragrances and she has other things going on. What really intrigued me the most was her background with the chemistry from background as well as the business. And Iye, do you want to tell your audience how the two different I don't know what to call them. Disciplines, I guess, merged.
Yes. To be quite honest, it was by accident. It just so happens that I have this background, and believe it or not, I definitely say thank God because the way I do my candles is candles are science, literally. It deals with math, it deals with weighing, it deals with pouring, all it's pretty much in the lab. And I've spent literally practically my entire life in sciences, so labs are home to me. Um, I would say that the disciplines are a little bit different, only in the sense that I think I enjoy this a little bit more. It just brought out a different side of me that I didn't know that I had. But sometimes you don't really understand, why you're doing certain things or why you're learning certain things, and you think, some of these subjects should be negated or they're supposed to be used as weeding tools, as we'll say in professional schools. Sometimes they put classes that are too hard to kind of weed out students. And in reality, some of those classes definitely taught me some methods and metrics to be able to succeed where I am right now in this business.
And as a former math teacher, I taught
Oh,
algebra for like 20 some years to middle schoolers. And one of the
you know
things I
about
hear
it.
the most is, I don't know why we have to take this dumb stuff. We're not going to use it.
Absolutely.
We're not going to use it. And I always would say, well, first of all, you're not an authority. You're not qualified to say what.
You'll use it soon.
What you're going to be doing in the next year, but let alone 10, 20 years, so you don't know that. All I can say is you have a limited view of what the world offers. And so if I don't know what you're thinking, but if all that you have in your mind is that one or maybe two things that there is to do in the world, I even would beg to differ that math is involved with that.
Oh, math is so
everything,
important. It's not once it's a hard subject, but it's a difficult subject for a lot of people. And I just truly believe that math is so important. Whatever you're trying to do, when you're driving, I mean, velocity, literally, like just pressing you don't even notice that when you're driving, you're literally doing physics or anything like that, saying that how much velocity am I going to, or how much pressure am I using to stop, or how much pressure am I using to go, or I don't want to go too fast, or just little things daily, like you're baking a cake. These are methods that you're beginning to use. Math is in our daily life, in different ways. But like I said, I do believe that teachers are important as well, in the sense that these classes, as like math, people, because they're harder subjects or people are more scared of them, our teachers are, how do I say, very important in the sense of, not saying being nice, but giving us that extra push to say that I want to go to Miss Stephanie's class. I want to go to Miss Brooks' class and kind of learn, because she makes me feel happy while I'm here, especially, people who look like us. But it's very important. Great math is very important.
Yeah, I was the only one around in certain that students could look to and say, "Oh,
if you can do it, I can do it." Literally.
Yeah, but math definitely plays a part in what you do, and what you've done as far as the production of your product, as well as the business. Talk to us about what was your start like? I know you told us about the dream and everything, but many people have an idea. And what I would like for people to hear, old and young, particularly the millennials and the Gen Zs, because I'm hearing a lot, I see a lot, with my life coaching, I deal a lot with a lot more millennials and Gen Zs than any age group. And getting the bag is so important. It creates stress, anxiety, and a lot of them don't understand the process. They don't understand all that goes into it. They're looking at social media and they see the outcome of some people or the false images.
Absolutely.
You put in a lot of hard work, you know. So
behind the scenes is definitely terrible.
I mean, you were in school too, and you went back to school, but you pursued. So there's a lot going on here. When you were talking to me, my brain was just going like this, because I'm seeing the math and all of that, but I'm also seeing the character of this person to pursue, because this is starting any business endeavor, no matter how large or small, is no minor thing. It requires something within us more than the resources. The resources must be there, and help and support, but it starts with us, the ones who have the vision.
Absolutely.
So can you share what things, I don't want to lead you into it, but what things, patience, focus, what things can you list that
I have my adjectives right now.
Started? Okay, you go for it.
Yes. So I guess to start off with what you initially asked, which was, I guess, how does somebody start a business? Of course, it would be, an assumption of an idea. Say you wanted to have a grocery store, or like a candle shop like me, or candle line. research is very important. I feel like you shouldn't go into any business without researching. I think we live in a time where, Google is definitely our friend, where we can
Yes.
it's the world is at our fingertips in the sense of you can Google what does it take to start a candle business, or how much money should I use, or and sometimes you just don't know, and a lot of us don't have family members who are in these businesses or even friends, so you're literally doing it by yourself. Um,
Yes.
a lot of the friends that we have or family members that we have will say, "Why do you want to do that?" You know, so the first thing, even before looking into your business, is just having confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that you can really do is fail, and who cares about that? Because you can all you can say is that you did it, and it didn't work out, and you're moving forward. But it could also be I did it, and I'm moving up, and I'm moving forward. So
Yes.
literally, it's your. I mean, the world could be at your waistline.
So
you know,
I'm hearing that discouragement is definitely
a part. It's a
part of
big
the
part.
course.
It's a
Mhm.
major part of starting a business. Discouragement. Like discouragement. People will literally tell you because people don't see the same things you do. That's why their visions are not theirs. They're yours. So
Right.
for you to say, "Hey, this is what I want to do," stand firm in it. You are definitely free to take advice from people because some things that people may be saying may be true. But or when they say, "Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? How you gonna do this?" Okay, those are questions that you probably need to think about, but that shouldn't be a total breaker for you. You should definitely practice discernment. I think discernment is probably the biggest word in starting
Wow.
a business. Full stop.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not easy.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, as far as characteristics go, like I said, just having some type of confidence in yourself. It doesn't have to be a lot because we already know it's a mustard seed. That's really all you need, and just you know figuring out. Like I said, research is the first thing. Patience, because for me, I say I got lucky in the sense of, or blessed in the sense that I've been able to do so well in the last 6 months of my first business. I mean, of this business. But I own a clothing line called queensdefinition.com. You guys can check me out, which is like a fashion forward, African inspired apparel line for both men and women. So I've had that business for almost 4 years, and I haven't been able to do I do well, but I haven't done the numbers that I've done with this business. And I only say that because I didn't realize that at one point I kept on asking, "Oh, do you like this? Would you wear this?" Oh, asking people, and that's who cares? Who cares? Because the name is Queen's Definition. My name means Queen, so that's why it's Queen's Definition, and it's my definition of fashion. But ultimately, just leading back to that, it's Queen's Definition. It's what I identify with, and for those who identify with me, or have a similarity with you, and just honing in on coming back to me and what I want to do and how I want to do it. Because usually somebody else will like it too. Everybody doesn't have to like it. I think that's the second key. Discernment, knowing that, or the third. Discernment is the first. Confidence. The third is realizing that everybody doesn't have to like what you like, which is okay.
Because
Because
we're not for everybody.
everything is not for everybody, and that's okay. Prime example about my candle line. I have an array of scents, but somebody can smell. Prime example, I have a candle called 1111. Maybe you guys can see it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And pretty much the scent is magic in the sky and lemongrass. So someone will smell it. I think it's amazing. But somebody else may smell it and be like, it's too much for me, or it's a little bit, I don't think, I think I like woody scent, or I like fall scent, and that's okay because I have another candle for you. So
Hmm.
um, maybe even focusing on having certain things. Listening is, I think, it's probably one of the biggest. Listening to your customers, I would say, in the sense of like somebody may say, well, I love all your scents, but do you have spearmint? No, laughing because people definitely say that. And that for me, I'm not a big spearmint person, but people are. And that's something that you have to be able to bend and to say, well, that's everything's not always about you. Even though I said you should definitely check with yourself first. That's
Yeah.
that of just being comfortable with yourself and when it comes to making decisions, you know what I'm saying? But I think there should definitely be some leeway when you have a business and you're trying to appease to your customer. Like, well, I don't have this color, but it only comes in this color. So maybe next time when I'm doing another variation, I'll think about that and say, well, everybody said that they want a spearmint or jasmine. What can I do that I like
Mhm,
that
mhm.
people that people may also like as well in this category? So I think that may be a little selfish in a sense, but
Mhm.
I think that's what makes you tough in this business because everybody makes bread, and I mean
Yeah.
that in a literal sense. But everybody's brand is not yours, and that's what I
Right.
truly believe. So it's just like people are doing the same things that you're doing, but how can you be different, and how can you still
Yeah.
be to yourself?
And
And
how you should be
selfish
unique.
is exactly, and then being a little bit selfish sometimes um, will bring the best out of you. I mean, selfish in decisions of your business, not
Mhm.
selfish when you're being with people. So let's just be clear. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Being true to your own vision and your conviction.
absolutely.
I get that often on the podcast. I'll have people email me or, representing other people, particularly authors, mostly it's for authors, and they want to recommend this person for the podcast.
Okay.
And it's all over. But if I did that, I'd be all over the place. It wouldn't be true
Yes.
to
Yes. You
how
try.
I started this podcast. And I'm sure there's a podcast for them somewhere.
Absolutely.
There's so many out there now. I started this in 2010. It wasn't like this in 2010. There are tons of podcasts out there.
And you actually brought up a good point in the sense of you will get people. People will come, and but like you said, you have to stay true to yourself because if not, you'll go left and right. And I know they say, like I said, going back to focusing on having your core values, knowing your core values. Like I said, mine is about culture, personality, and attitude. So you see it in my personality, you see it in my products, you see it in my scents, you see
Mm,
it in the way that I sell, you see it in my again, like my personality. I believe I'm a warm person, so I want my scents and things that I sell to be about that as well.
you
So
are the brand. You
yes,
brand.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You're a walking billboard,
Thank
a
you. Yes,
talking
especially
billboard.
as a small business owner, when
Yeah.
you get to a corporate level, you really don't get to see people. But I do pray that even if I get to that level, or when I get to that level, I should say,
Mhm.
um, that is something that I want to embody. So you go to Chick-fil-A, and they everybody knows that Chick-fil-A is a respectful place. They act if they make a mistake, it's like, oh, I must, they told me no fries, or they didn't put fries in my bag. To me, I'll be like, you know what, I probably didn't need the fries. Like that's the level. That's the level of professionalism or niceness or just anything like that they hold when you come to the establishment.
You
Whereas
can
other
expect it.
other brands, you go, it could be a little bit crazy. You may be waiting for a while. Whereas somebody like Chick-fil-A will come outside and take your order in the rain. So these are
Yeah.
just values that people that some companies should instill in themselves, and just know what you want. It takes time, so don't beat yourself up about that. Just take your time. Know that every year can change. Like this year, my label's like this. Next year, I may want to do it like that. You
Yeah.
know that in this business, you can do whatever you want in a sense.
Well,
Um,
let me get to this real quick.
sure.
Remember, we're coming from fresh start, false start. So
Yeah.
here's a section in that chapter. It says the genetics of a false start include several realities. Some are the absence of proper planning, work ethics, consistency,
Absolutely.
fortitude, resolution, and healthy mentorship. Even more integrity to the vow to self, was not honored. We have to let our yes be yes and our no be may no. And I'm going to stop right there. So some of this you included in, how to get started. What did you see as being a contributor to people having a false start? They think they're ready. They think that they're ready. They're excited.
Consistency, like you said, and daily life. I think consistency and knowing that life happens. Today you can start something, and I don't know, something may happen, so you may have to put something to the side. I think sometimes you have to have different priorities. Like, even if something were to, happen, I know that this is still a part of my priority. I don't have to put as much time into it, but consistency, it does not stop.
Mhm.
Things happen where you may be able to take a break, but just know that it's not a break. I mean, it's not, well, to me, I will say it's not a break. This is just time off. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You can do that. Have your break and do, get your life together, or have your
Mhm.
mental break, but still do
So it
things.
sounds like timing.
Yeah. So I would say, I wanted to say something about, like, like, even if you wanted to need a mental health break and say, you know what, so many things are happening. I just need to take some time off from this
Yeah.
business, and I just get myself together. I'm not thinking clearly, or whatever you want to, however you're
And
feeling.
that's okay.
That is perfect. That is perfectly fine. But what I would say, even during that moment, I believe that you should still be practicing your art or your business, whether it's sewing, whether it's ice cream. Like, I feel like every week, or you should make a goal to at least try something that's within your business. And by the time you get ready to come back, you would have
Mhm.
learned so many new skills, or YouTube it, whatever it is, and you wouldn't have even known that, like, wow, if I wouldn't have taken that break, I wouldn't have even started doing this.
Well,
And
that
that
leads
can
me to
be great.
something else. Well, that leads me to something else about honing in on one skills.
Yeah.
Enhancing your skill set. Right.
Let me gain of
So
all trades.
now that you've started the business
Yes.
and you have a line of things, you have a line, you have products, you have things to put on the table. Your table looked great. You didn't have an empty table. Your table was full of, it almost was like going into a candy shop.
Thank you.
There was so much to choose from. Do you feel that because one of the things I've noticed is that people do not hone their, on their skills. They do not um, strengthen their craft.
Yes.
It's like I'm good at something, and so I'm just good at it.
Yeah.
This is where I am. I'm an artist, and this is where I am. So, do you see yourself doing anything, whether it's going to conferences, learning, I don't know. I don't even want to put it out there. But do you see yourself strengthening your craft? I mean, you have this
Listen.
line of, this chemistry is amazing that you put together here. But do you see yourself, and do you see it being valuable of
Yeah.
doing something to strengthen your product and even yourself?
Yes. I say yes so confidently, only in the sense that, as a person, I would definitely say I'm eclectic. I've always tried to wanted more, wanted more, wanted more, wanted more, or wanted to do something more. And I would say, I was just telling my nieces, like, I didn't know that I was creative until after 25. Which is
Hmm.
sad. Yes, because, like, well, I'm Nigerian, and I have wonderful parents, fantastic parents. But in our culture, it's all about school. And it's like, you can do certain things and they support you to do other things, but school is first and foremost. So if you like to draw, that's not important right now. If you like to sing, that's not important right now. If you, whatever you want to do, it's not important as school, which is definitely important. So I can't say school is not important. But sometimes I think it's important, especially in this generation now, that because we're talented people, we are a talented people. I mean, it was like I say, it wasn't until after I graduated from pharmacy school where I found time, because I was always in school, to start my clothing line, even though I knew I could sew from middle school. So this is something that was in my heart, saying, man, I want to start a business. I want to start my clothing line. I kept telling myself that, but I kept pushing myself in the sense of, well, maybe later, maybe later, maybe later, maybe later. So I think two things, like you said, false start. Start, start somewhere, start anywhere, start now, start yesterday. Not even tomorrow, start yesterday. Because again, the whole thing of you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You see stories every day. They're all over the news about how one person did this and then now they're this multimillionaire or
Yeah.
whatever just because they started. Or you'll also see somebody on the news and say, "Oh, they're a multimillionaire, but I had the same idea."
Yeah, that's terrible, right?
Exactly. The difference is they started. They
Yep.
started. They were able to figure it out, and you can still do it too.
Yeah,
Don't let
sometimes we have to build it as we go. I think
Absolutely.
sometimes we wait to have all our ducks in order, as they say,
You
and that
never
may never
will.
happen.
You
That may
never
never happen.
will. You
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
have them. You'll be better, But I
People are
mean,
afraid of failure too. I think people are afraid of failure. What do
I'll say this.
can you speak to that about
Yes,
failure?
yes, because I failed a lot in exams and I guess quote unquote life. I failed in making certain things before I eventually got what recipe I wanted to, or what stuck for me. So definitely failure. I think what anybody could feel like or say is just like I said earlier. So what? So what? You failed. Okay. What's next?
Hmm.
I just
Yeah.
feel like I think you should take time, definitely, because I think when you fail, you need to be in your emotions. You're allowed to feel, sad or unhappy. But I definitely give myself about 2 to 3 days and say, okay, well, I've cried or I've been upset or well, how can I do better? Or who do I need to talk to? Whether it's a
Mhm.
teacher, whether it's you said something earlier in your book where you said that something about I forgot the exact words, but basically saying that where I want to get to is like being around like-minded people,
Mentorship.
mentorship. So
Hmm.
being around like-minded people. Like I said, I have lots of friends, but everybody, no, not my friends aren't really entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They don't want to be entrepreneurs, which is it's fine with that. Well, I'm fine with that. They're fine with that. But it's certain things that I want to talk about that they may not necessarily care about. you know, and
Yeah.
finding people who are, in your circle or like, doing things that you like to do. Like I said, I love going to pop ups because I meet so many vendors, I meet so many great people, i.e., Stephanie. And then you just, I mean, you just get to learn so much, and then just talk about anything about, hey, what wax are you using? Oh, I'm using this wax. Oh, really? Well, how do you do this when you get this, outcome? And they'll say, well, I just put it in the microwave or whatever they may what advice we give you, and it's like,
Hmm.
wow, I had no idea. I think within my major goal within I guess 2020 2000 to now, before COVID, was my goal was I wanted to be around more like-minded people.
Yeah.
And going back to what I was saying, that people will say, why are you doing that? Or, you know, I don't like. I'm saying, why
What
would
does
I,
it
I don't like, I don't like this
matter?
one. Why don't you?
Just one
Yeah,
lane.
because that's what I want to do. And whereas you may go to like when you find your people, or you find people who doing the same things like you, not necessarily the same exact things, but in the same area, you know. And I may say, hey, would you want to smell this? That's fantastic. That's amazing. Oh my god, genuine. So it's just like you just have to, I don't want to say figure
Be
it out.
adventurous and
Just
daring, and I tell people, especially,
be
when I'm
independent.
here, you have to not be, and I fear is a part of being human. I know
Absolutely. Oh,
I'm Christian, so I go to the word
I
God.
have a
God has
great
given us
friend.
a spirit of fear, but we
Yes.
still, it doesn't mean that we don't experience it.
Yes.
Because we're human, we still experience it. That's a part of our makeup. But I've learned you got to go shaking in your boots sometimes.
I have
I,
a
I,
friend.
I get the weebie jeebies every time before I do the show. And I've
Really?
been doing this know and since 2010. Well, I've been only on YouTube, but I've been only on YouTube for a year, which meant that I had to get ready because before I could be hiding out in my PJs. I had my PJs on and no one would know the difference.
Yeah,
And I would be interviewing people in my pajamas with rollers in my hair, sitting in bed with a cupcake or a donut on the side. One person, no one would know. And when I was challenged to go to YouTube, it took me a whole year to get my mind together enough to do it, because all I kept thinking is all of the work that I did before, and the person kept saying you can still repurpose it. Yeah. I'm like, repurpose it. I was stubborn. I was stuck.
Yeah.
So, repurpose it. Oh, I was just like, I was overwhelmed. And then I was thinking, oh, this means I got to put a face on. Ooh, I got to look. I got to make sure I have clothes to wear on those things. And it was a lot. It took me a whole year to get my act together. But I say all that to say that people are afraid to move into new spaces. And even though I'm older, I ain't done yet. And so I shouldn't say ain't, but yeah, I'm trying to be cute here. But I'm not done yet. And so I've learned to go into spaces where I don't have to carry my friends, away from my friends to go with me, because they don't have to go with me. They have their own journey. Yeah. And I've come to fully embrace and not fight, because I did fight my individuality. Yeah. But I've gone to conferences alone.
Right.
Out of town. I've jumped on a plane. I've driven, if it's, not too far, out of state, but not too far. I've done that. And I felt so proud of myself, like a big girl. And here I am, this grown woman with a grown child doing this. But new spaces bring on these opportunities because we get to learn. Like I was by myself when I was down there with you. It's just that I ended up, and I knew one of the organizers, True, but she was doing her thing, Yeah. And I was doing my thing. I couldn't walk around like a little kid hanging out with her. She has work to do, And I found out that there was another vendor I knew. She used to be a vice principal at a school where I taught, and she and her husband. So you meet people. I met an old classmate who she and her husband who sell T-shirts. So it's just being comfortable going into places alone sometimes. And I find that has been maturing for me. And I think that it opens my eyes to not only what's out there, but what I can do.
You can do it. Yeah.
And I think but I find a lot of people are afraid to do that.
Absolutely. It's the easier said than done.
Another space of unknown space. And I get it, but the world is so much bigger than what we know.
I feel like the biggest thing is taking your first step. I was going to say earlier that I have a friend who always says, if you're not scared, then you don't care. When you feel scared, that means that you care. So because what else are you scared of? You actually care about this, which means that, like you said, you're human, that it's important to you. And if it's important to you, then you should do it. Whatever it may be, whatever the dream is. My biggest thing is always say, why not? Why not? Yeah. Why not? Why can't you do it? What's the issue? What's the problem? Why not? That's probably one of my biggest things that I probably should get a teacher that says, why not? I mean, like you said, fear is a major, major, major issue in our lives, in the sense of just doubt. Like I said, you have naysayers, and sometimes you could be the naysayer. People exactly that say, "Yeah, you can do it. You can do it." And you're like, nah, because you just feel scared. So if you feel scared, that means you care, and that definitely means that you should just try to pursue. Like I said, because the worst thing you can do is fail, and if you fail, so what? What's next? What happens after that? Exactly. It happened, Okay, well, I know that I won't. It's like touching the stove. Your parents are telling you, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove. Mm-hmm. Touch the stove.
We can rebrand, repurpose, reinvent.
Yes.
I mean, think of all the things that have been the light bulb and
Exactly.
the heart. None of them look the same. None of them look the way they look on the first exhibition.
Absolutely.
They've been redone, reinvented, multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And we as people can do that too,
So I'm saying, like, if you touch the stove and you get burned, what happens next? Next time you use the oven mitt, right? So what does that mean? That means, okay, it didn't work this time, but the next time I do it, I'm probably going to do it this way, and that'll probably work out. So just try different ways, and if it truly doesn't work for you, you can move on to the next idea. I think we're just really, really, really talented people. Thank you, Black History Month, everybody. We're really.
That's awesome. I was sharing with my daughter this about the event and some things how that I felt about me I could have done differently, or I was just basically saying how they went, and she was speaking just like you. Basically learning from this, and now what to have in place in case next time, and things like that. Because I just went in, this is what I do, and these are the pieces of equipment that I need, and so what, not thinking there's something awry and I need to be flexible.
Yes.
That's another piece. Yes. Oh, Iye, this is great. I would love to have you back.
I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Now, can you tell people where they can find you? Because I know since you are a millennial, you are on social media.
I just wanted to show a couple of candles that I had and a couple of names, and I can tell you guys where to find me. So I have, of course, which is one of my favorite candles, and it's a candle called Dear Black Woman, which is a cocoa butter cashmere. And this is our 12 ounces. And just to put my 8 ounce next to it, you can kind of see the size difference a little bit because of the blur. I'm sorry. But basically, it's basically like an ode to Black women. It's like it's a time of here because it's like we're endless, to be continued. We're fantastic. We're beautiful. We're strong. We're elegant. We're peaceful. And just, things like that. I also have a Dear Black Man because it's very important as well. And it's also it's also like a poem to Black men because, you are loved, you are beautiful, you are worthy, and all of those kind of things. And this is a black, a mahogany teak wood and a black coconut blend, which always sells out. Those two always sell out. I also have a candle called, this is my 4 ounces, guys. I'm sorry. And these are $13. I'm sorry, I didn't tell prices. My 8 ounces are $18. My 12 ounces are $20. Excuse me. And I have 2 ounces, which are my travel tins. This one says, smells like my life is coming together. You can't really see, but it's a sparkling clean, and your life is definitely coming together. But this is and just to put the 4 ounce in, and basically you can take it on a plane, you can light it in your hotel, you can kind of like take it anywhere. It's like a mini bestie. And this is $9.50.
And these can be purchased.
Yes,
can be purchased on your website.
Absolutely. Yes, we have fully restocked, so you can get every scent that I have. I also have bundle deals. My website is thecandleswithattitude.com. And my Instagram is here, which is Candles with Attitude, as well as my Facebook, which is also Candles with Attitude. I also have lots of bundle deals. You can get my speaker candles online as well. They're $40 online. If you catch me at a pop-up, they may be cheaper, which could be like $1 for 30, 2 for 50. So, catch me outside,
All right. I'm telling you, she is doing it. And I love that it's something that's you. Look at that.
My girl.
Hey, mama.
My girl, my women.
I love the uniqueness of your products too. As there are people who want to, and we didn't cover that because we could talk on and on and on. Oh my God, this is good. But there are people who want to do business, but I'm noticing a lot of copycats. There's not a lot of originality. You know, when you turn around, I'm getting the bag, I'm doing, and I'm not knocking any of these things.
No, not at all.
My thing is, where is the uniqueness? We're fearfully and wonderfully made. So we all do not have the same assignment. I mean, we're all called, but we are chosen to do different things to make the calling, sure. And real estate is a big thing. And I'm like, okay, everyone doesn't have the gift of gab. Everyone
the marketing.
Don't do the research. Yeah, don't do the research. Don't know how to switch up and yet be authentic when talking with diverse people. Only feel comfortable talking to certain types of people, and I'm just thinking it's if you want to go out there, you actually need to know how to communicate. Yeah, and you got to do a lot of research. So I'm saying that, and I just see a lot. I don't want to start naming because then people who are doing it may say, "Is that what you think of me when you see me selling my stuff?" So I need to stop naming things.
I mean, I'm sort of an advocate of, like I said earlier, you can make bread and have your own brand because, like I said, if you go to the grocery store, it's 30 different bread brands, and you'll pick one, But I think they all have individuality, though. So they all taste different.
Yeah, absolutely. Every brand is for. I mean, Cheesecake Factory bread, I love it, especially the dark bread with the oats on it.
Yes,
that's their brand.
I love Outback Steakhouse bread. That's one of my favorite breads. I think it's pumpernickel bread. It's like Barney's bread.
I've never. Okay. But everybody has to be different because bread is a main staple. It's in every country, I guess. Everybody makes bread. So how do you know our bread from anyone else's? Yeah. So you're right. So I love your uniqueness. I love how you sell your brand with your personality, with your knowledge. How you. Like I said, there was so much I was just so much I took away from our conversation. You were knowledgeable. You weren't shooting at the hip. You weren't just coming up with something and I'm standing there like, what? Because you can tell, like, you're talking about discernment. You're like, I don't need discernment for this. This is wacky. So you were not shooting from the hip. You were very knowledgeable. I mean, you were talking to two educators, by the way.
I was. I didn't. You guys were fantastic. I mean, like,
she's a former principal, retired principal. And the other woman who came around was an organizer. She's a former teacher. So we know what we hear. We can tell when someone's talking from knowledge and experience based off of this is a lot of puff. So I was impressed on so many levels. So I wish you the best. I pray for your expansion and the help and support that you need because you're doing a great work and you're setting a great example and role model for so many who are coming up, who are the same age as you, older than you. You inspired me, and those who are younger than you as well. So keep up the good work, Iye. All right, and I hope to
next time when you release your next book, I'll put your your book on a label.
Oh, I like that. Well, everybody, this has been Iye, and log on to her site. Log on to the website, log on to her social media platforms, and be blessed. It's an experience, and it's a positive, nice experience. All right, and purchase something. Don't just swirl around and look. I call
Thank
them
you, everyone.
scrollers. I see you doing stuff on your page. I'm like, you ain't
Wait,
subscribe.
like you like it?
Not buying anything. I see you. Oh, yeah, you see me. Oh, yes. I want
Appreciate
you to more than see me. That's
it.
all right. Take care, sis. It was so nice. So
Thank you
nice.
so much for
All right.
having me. Thank you.
Love you. Take care now. Good night, everybody. Take care until the next time.